In this video, we are going to learn about the method of construction of hyperbola. So first, let me write down the question and we will learn the method of construction of hyperbola as a solution of this question. So the question is like this: construct a hyperbola. Construct a hyperbola when the distance between the focus and the directrix is 70 millimeter and the eccentricity is 4 by 3. While discussing the theoretical aspects of conic sections, we have discussed that eccentricity of a hyperbola is always greater than unity, greater than 1. So here, keeping consistency with that, the eccentricity value of the hyperbola has been given as 4 by 3. After constructing the hyperbola, you have to perform another step. You have to draw a tangent and normal at any point on the hyperbola. At any point of your choice on the hyperbola. Okay, so this is the question. Let us start solving the question. So let us go to the solution of this question. Please pay attention and try to understand the different steps by which the hyperbola can be constructed. Now, since in this hyperbola construction we are using the distance between the focus and the directrix as our input and also the eccentricity value, which is given as 4 by 3. Therefore, this method of hyperbola construction is referred to as the focus directrix method. This method is also known as focus directrix method of constructing a hyperbola. So how do you start? First you start by drawing the directrix. So draw a vertical line and consider it to be the directrix of the hyperbola that you are trying to draw. So this is the directrix. And after drawing the directrix, now you draw the axis which will contain the focus. What is the relation between the directrix and the axis? The axis and the directrix of a conic section are perpendicular to each other. So at any point on the directrix, if you draw a line which is perpendicular to the directrix, then this line that you have drawn, this line is the axis. Okay, so let us just write here axis and let us write here directrix, just for your understanding. Okay, and the point where the axis and the directrix intersect each other perpendicularly, that point let us denote by the capital letter C. Now we have to locate the focus. It is said that the focus is at a distance of 70 millimeter from the directrix. The focus will always lie on the axis. So from the point C, we have to move along the axis by a distance of 70 millimeter and locate the focus. So if this is the focus, the distance between the points C and F is 70 millimeter. Now what you have to do is you have to divide this distance CF into 7 equal parts. You have to divide this distance CF into 7 equal parts. Now since this distance CF is 70 millimeter, which is already a multiple of 7, we can do this division of CF into 7 equal parts without doing any construction. Simply by using a ruler, we can divide this distance CF into 7 equal parts. Since CF is equals to 70 millimeter, each part will be 10 millimeter. Okay, so let us do that division. I am doing it by eye estimation, but you should do it by proper mathematical technique. That is by using your ruler and marking of equal distances of 10 millimeter 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now the question is, why did we divide this distance CF into 7 equal parts and not into 8 equal parts and not into 6 equal parts? The reason is very simple. You see, the eccentricity value of the hyperbola that you are trying to construct is given as 4 by 3. 4 plus 3 gives you the number 7. So if we divide the distance CF, that is the distance between the focus and the directrix, into 7 equal parts, here you see we have divided the distance CF into 7 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then if we take the vertex on the 4th division from the focus side, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the 4th division from the focus side, if you take the vertex here, then you see the distance VF by VC is equals to 40 millimeter by 30 millimeter, which satisfies the eccentricity value. Okay, so it is purely a consequence of the eccentricity value which makes us divide the length CF into 7 equal parts, and after doing so we take the vertex, which is a point, which is one of the several points on the hyperbola. Vertex is a point which will lie on the hyperbola. The hyperbola will pass through the vertex, and we know that eccentricity means distance of any point on the hyperbola from the focus divided by the distance of same point from the directrix. So if you divide this total distance into 7 equal parts, and after that if you locate the vertex on the 4th division from the focus side or on the 3rd division from the directrix side, then the eccentricity value can be maintained. That is why we divided the distance CF into 4 plus 3 equal to 7 equal parts. Similarly, if we had eccentricity some value, say 8 by 5, then the distance CF we would require to divide into 13 equal parts and take the vertex on the 8th division from the focus side or on the 5th division from the directrix side in order to satisfy this eccentricity value. So depending upon the eccentricity value, you have to determine how many equal parts you want to divide this distance CF into and where you want to take the position of the vertex. So after dividing this length CF into 7 equal parts and taking the position of the vertex on the 4th division from the focus side or on the 3rd division from the directrix side, you construct a perpendicular you construct a line which is perpendicular to the axis and name the other end of the line as E, such that this VE will be equal to VF. Okay, so VF is 40 millimeter, so VE should also be equal to 40 millimeter. After doing that, you join C and E. These 2 points you join and extend this line. Okay. Then what you do is you take 3 points anywhere on the right hand side of the vertex. You take 3 points, not necessarily equidistant, anywhere on the right hand side of the vertex. Now since these 3 points are already there, I would like to take these 3 points only as my required 3 points. So this point I am going to call as 1, this point I am going to call as 2 and this point I am going to call as 3. You can take 1, 2, 3 at different distances from each other also. You can take the point 1 here, you can take the point 2 here, point 3 here, and so on. But all the points should lie on the same side of the vertex. Then what you do is, through the points 1, 2 and 3, you draw 3 vertical lines up to this line. So through 1 we draw a vertical line and terminate this line once it intersects the extended version of the line CE. Okay. Similarly, through the point 2 we draw another vertical line up to this line, and through the point 3 also we draw another vertical line up to this line. This point we call as 1 dashed, this point we call as 2 dashed, and this point we call as 3 dashed. And after that you extend 1 dashed towards the other side of the axis, you extend 2 dashed towards the other side of the axis, and extend the line 3 dashed in the other side of the axis. Now what you have to do is, after doing this much of construction, now you have to draw 3 arcs. Now whenever you want to draw an arc of a circle or a complete circle, you need two informations. One is the location of the center, another is the radius value. So for the first arc, I am providing you the center and the radius for all the 3 arcs that you have to draw now. So I am providing the information in tabular form: center and radius. So for the first arc, the center will be the point F, that is the focus. So you have to put the center of your compass here and draw the arc with a certain radius value. The radius of the first arc will be the length 1 dashed. For the second arc, the center will remain the same, but the radius will become 2 dashed instead of 1 dashed. And for the third arc, the center will remain the same, focus, and radius will become 3 dashed instead of 2 dashed. Now suppose you are drawing the first arc. When you are drawing the first arc, that is when you are placing the compass here and rotating it like this, the arc will cut the line 1 dashed at some point. You just only note that point. This is the point where the arc will cut the line 1 dashed when it is drawn with center F and radius equal to this length 1 dashed. So you separate the two ends of the compass, that is the pencil end and the pivot end, by this distance, and then you put the pivot here and rotate the compass like this. And just take note where the arc cuts the line 1 dashed on this side of the axis and on this side of the axis. The arc will cut the line 1 dashed at 2 points, one on this side of the axis and another on this side of the axis. You have to note both these points. This point you call as P1 and this point you call as P1 dashed. After that you draw this arc. Obviously you can understand from the radius value, this 2 dashed is a larger radius. So if you take this as your radius now, the distance between this point and this point, if you take this as your radius, put your compass here and draw the arc will cut all these lines once on this side and again on this side. You have to note only those points where the arc cuts this line 2 dashed. It will cut somewhere here on this side of the axis and it will cut at another point on this side of the axis. You have to note these 2 points and call them as P2 and P2 dashed. Then you draw the third arc, which is the largest of these 3 because of the radius value, because of the typical radius value. So for this arc also, the center will be the focus, but the radius will be as large as 3 dashed. And when you are drawing this arc, then you have to note the intersection of this arc with the line 3 dashed. Obviously this arc will also intersect the line 3 dashed at 2 locations, one on this side of the axis and another on this side of the axis. the intersection between the arc and this line 3 3 dashed on this side of the axis you call as P3, and the intersection between the arc and the line 3 3 dashed on this side of the axis you call as P3 dashed. So now you are ready with some points which, if joined with the help of French curve, will give you the required hyperbola. So how many points do you have which you can join to get the hyperbola? P1, P2, P3, P1 dash, P2 dash, P3 dash, and the vertex. You should not forget the vertex. Okay. So these 7 points, if you join by a smooth continuous curve by using the geometrical instrument French curve, then you are going to get the desired hyperbola. So it will look somewhat like this. So this is how your hyperbola will look finally after the construction is complete. Okay, so I am again repeating the different steps which were followed to construct this hyperbola by the focus directrix method. Then I will solve the second part of the question where you have to draw a tangent and normal at a chosen point on the hyperbola. So that part I am coming a bit later. Before that, let me summarize the different steps which we followed for constructing this hyperbola with the given information by following the focus directrix method. The first thing that we did was we drew a vertical line and called it as the directrix. Then we draw another line which was perpendicular to the directrix and we called it as the axis. Then we located the focus F at a distance 70 mm from the directrix according to the value provided in the question. So from the directrix you move along this axis by a distance 70 mm to locate the focus F. Then what we did was we divided the length CF into 7 equal parts because of the typical eccentricity value being 4/3. And then in order to satisfy the eccentricity value, we chose the vertex of the hyperbola at the 4th division from the focus side or at the 3rd division from the directrix side. After that, you draw a vertical line through the vertex whose other endpoint is called as E in such a way that the length of VE and the length of VF, these two should be equal. VE and VF should be equal. So making VE equal to VF, we draw a vertical line through the point V. Then we join the point E with the point C to get this line, and we extend this line beyond the point E on this side. After that, you have to take 3 points anywhere on the axis on the right hand side of the vertex. So we use the division points itself as those 3 points. So the first point we numbered as 1, the second point we numbered as 2, and the third point we numbered as 3. Through these 3 points, we constructed vertical lines extending up to this inclined line, which is the extended version of the line CE. Wherever these lines intersect this one, those points we call as 1 dashed, 2 dashed and 3 dashed respectively. So the vertical line originating from the point 1 is intersecting this extended CE line at a point which we are calling as 1 dashed. Similarly, the vertical line originating from the point 2 is intersecting this line at a point which we are calling as 2 dashed, and the vertical line originating from the point 3 is intersecting this inclined line at a point which we are calling as 3 dashed. All these 3 lines you have to then extend towards the other side of the axis also for a reasonably sufficient length. Okay. Then you have to draw 3 arcs. For the first arc, the center will be the point F, that is the focus, and the radius will be the length 1 1 dash. This distance will be the radius and this will be the center. When you draw this arc, you have to notice the intersection of this arc with the line 1 1 dash, and you will find that the arc will intersect the line 1 1 dash at 2 different points, one on this side of the axis, another on this side of the axis. The first of these points we call as P1 and the other one we call as P1 dashed. Then you have to draw another arc with the same center, that is the focus, and a different radius. Now the radius value will be the distance between this point and this point. The focus will remain the same. The center will remain the same. So utilizing this point again as the center and taking the distance between these 2 points as the radius, you draw another arc, and while drawing this arc, you have to note the intersection of the arc with the line 2, 2 dashed, and you will again find that the arc intersects the line 2, 2 dashed at 2 different points, one on this side of the axis, another on this side of the axis. Those 2 points you call as P2 and P2 dash respectively. Then you have to draw yet another arc with the same center but with a different radius. Now the radius value will be the distance between this point and this point. When you draw this arc with F as the center and 3, 3 dashed as the radius, you have to note its intersection with the line 3, 3 dashed. And again you will find that this arc is intersecting the line 3, 3 dashed at 2 different points, one on this side of the axis, another on this side of the axis. These 2 points you call as P3 and P3 dash respectively. So after you locate P1, P2, P3, P1 dash, P2 dash, P3 dash, then you have 7 points on the hyperbola which you can now join with the help of a French curve to get the desired hyperbola. Which are these 7 points? These 3, P1, P2, P3, these 3, P1 dash, P2 dash, P3 dash, and you should not forget the vertex. The vertex is also a point which is going to lie on the hyperbola. So these 7 points, if you join with the help of French curve, you are going to get the desired hyperbola which is shown by this blue colored line. Now let us come to the second part of the question, where you have to draw a tangent and a normal at any point on this hyperbola. So first you have to choose that point on the hyperbola where you want to draw the tangent and normal. So let us choose any point. The choice is purely up to us. So let us choose this point and call it as P. So we want to draw a tangent and normal to this hyperbola at this chosen point P. So what are the steps that you have to follow? First you join this chosen point P with the focus. Then what you do is draw a line which is perpendicular to PF and make it intersect the directrix. So this line which is perpendicular to PF intersects the directrix at this point. You call this point as T. You call this point as T. So again I am repeating the steps. First you choose the point on the hyperbola where you want to draw the tangent and normal. This point P can be chosen anywhere else also. This point P someone can choose here, someone can choose here, someone can choose here, anywhere he or she likes. So I have chosen this point. The moment I have chosen this point, I have to now draw a tangent and normal at this point on the hyperbola. So join the chosen point on the periphery of the hyperbola with the focus. So you will get the line PF. Now construct a perpendicular to PF and extend it up to the directrix. The point where this intersects the directrix, that point you call as T. Now you simply join this T with the chosen point P. So join this T and P and extend. The other end you call as T dashed. So you can see this line T dashed is nothing but the required tangent. This line T dashed is the tangent to the hyperbola at the chosen point P. Now constructing the normal is very simple. Normal and tangent at a point of the hyperbola are perpendicular to each other. So through the point P, you draw a line which is perpendicular to the line T dashed and call it as the normal. So this line is perpendicular to T dashed and it also passes through the point P. So you call this line as N dashed, and here you write clearly that N dashed is the desired normal. So this is how you draw a tangent and normal to a chosen point on the hyperbola. Again I am summarizing the steps for drawing the tangent and normal. First you choose this point on the hyperbola where you want to draw the tangent and normal. Join the chosen point with the focus to get the line PF. Construct a perpendicular to this line and make it intersect the directrix at some point T. Join this T with the chosen point P and extend it beyond the chosen point P, you will find that this line T dashed, the other end of this line you call as T dashed. You will find that this line T dashed intersects the hyperbola at only one point, and that point is the point P. So this T dash becomes the desired tangent to the hyperbola. Now through the point P you draw another line which is perpendicular to the line T dashed. Call it as N dashed. So this new line N dashed is the desired normal to the hyperbola at the point P. So this is the solution of the given problem. Thank you.